pretty typical draft between these two. A lot of things that I think we both expected. We've got pwndnoob banning out Veranda, YerAnd banning out Tan, pwn restricting Pub, YerAnd restricting Redwoods. We've got pwndnoob doubling Ballroom and then picking the Restrict, and YerAnd picking Aquarium, which we all expected, and then picking Terrace. Is Terrace something that's typical from YerAnd, Manatters?
I mean, it's something that they probably feel like they can get it narrowed down to a couple over the course of the game because not a lot happens on Terrace,
Hmm.
and then just shoot when nuke bugs.
Yeah, I think YerAnd is going to be using it to also look for a spy win. I did a little bit of warming up with YerAnd prior to this match, so over about the past hour, and we played Aquarium, Terrace, and Gallery. And on Terrace, he managed to get a spy win or maybe two by me with some clever bugs, and then one that was just kind of a fingerprint rushdown that was so aggressive I didn't think it could actually be the spy. So it'll be interesting to see Terrace if we do get to that point. They are finished with their first round, so we can step in, and we're going to be, I guess I should probably count it in. We're going to be having pwnoob on Kane. Let me get it into casting mode. And he's listed as pop in here. Okay, so I've got the game loaded up, and 3, 2, 1, playing it.
That's the classic noob start.
Just instant flirt.
Instant flirt and instant bail while still talking.
Yeah. Surprised these two don't catch that between one another, considering I know that they do that quite often.
Yeah, I expect we'll see it all 4 games on Aquarium too from both players.
Interesting. Flirt up to 66%, and probably going to timer flirt here, or does the ST ends up bailing for us?
That's nice though. ST having a lot of movement is good, especially if they land somewhere soon.
Yeah, it helps work on the flirt cooldown without us having to move, and it also means that they're being active and can be a potential frame target, as you know that they can't be a suspected double agent.
Man, it would have been so good if the double agent came into our conversation. Makes me feel like General or Smallman is one. Oh no, I know who it is. It's Pearls.
Yeah, and I like this
This is a
grouping
really good
here.
contact for Ballroom if Rocker can get into a conversation.
Yeah, it would have to be a fake for us. But I like the opportunity to purloin here with it being so bunched up right here in the middle. If you can get to be where like General is or almost where Irish is, just right in between the combos so Toby's covered, it's usually a pretty good opportunity for purloin. We're going to go for a white purloin. Ponoob thinking the same thing that I am, that there's a lot of visual noise and a lot of distraction. YerAnd now noticing the guest list is gone is probably having to think about the chain here.
Yeah, they zoomed in on it. I mean, nobody else had taken after us, but they might not know that.
Yeah, I think in this position YerAnd likely has it narrowed down to like Smallman and Kane here.
Yeah, Smallman already had a drink.
Yeah, I don't think that he was too on to it, because otherwise, then we would have probably just seen a shot. So I think YerAnd may have missed the exact details of when that purloin had happened. But we'll know a little bit more as pwnoob gets some more mission progress if he decides to. He is kind of just staying in place, so pwnoob realizing that the white purloin was risky and is trying to do a bit of active idling to recover.
Doesn't get the green test to finish flirts. That's going to make it really hard to finish this game.
Yeah, I would imagine that this might actually be that he might just stand in this position and timeout, hoping that YerAnd civ shots.
He also might go to the window and time ad.
pwnoob typically doesn't like to time it though.
I mean, he
in the end of red.
obviously he's notorious for time adding a lot, but he doesn't do it like at 0 seconds to try and get the game.
He will sometimes, but yeah, I think he's most infamous for going for the time ads like, when there's already 2 minutes left on the clock or much more time left. Not when you're forced to, but when it's a little bit safer to. That's a double fake.
And this one's under 10 seconds, so it's not going to do anything.
Yeah. Yep, and YerAnd holds. pwnoob realizing that the white purling was probably a bit risky and elects to try and net the civ shot with a fake BB. Ends up not working out. YerAnd holds the shot and takes the first point.
And I doubt that Noob picked Ballroom to timeout as spy. Like, that is not why you pick Ballroom.
Yeah, that's probably just unfortunate. He figured that was probably better than him actually trying to get missions done. So hopefully on his next spy game he can make something happen. Let's see what YerAnd does. Loading in as Seek in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
And YerAnd starting at statues. Knows he probably won't get highlight for it.
Yeah, sometimes can be a risky start. Kind of depends on the person that you're playing against. These two both know each other quite well, and we
Ooh.
do actually end up picking some late highlights here at the statues.
The funny thing is with Noob, that could be just as likely just for flirt pairing those two.
True, very true.
Tell you what, YerAnd is being pretty spy-like, or pretty sniper-like, pretty AI-like there to just take the drink and leave without any progress on a mission in that conversation.
Yeah, sometimes taking a drink can be kind of like a little excuse for us to leave, other than hey, I need to go work on flirt somewhere else, just because the AI, have like a I don't know, like a 50-50 chance of leaving after taking a drink.
And that was the second time the Smallman came to us in this game.
Yeah, so that could help YerAnd here. Sometimes you've got to be a little bit worried about getting a false flirt pairing and where you just accidentally follow, the same AI. But so far, Smallman doing it for us. We're going to head back to center statues and finish out inspect. And we're not in a terrible position here. It's a pretty good position to be in. Flirt should get finished up relatively soon, but it is going to have to be 2 more flirts. And it looks like we're just going to do one from across to bring us up to 69%.
Yeah, so the same spot, if it's white again, that won't finish. A green will, though. It just seems like there's not a lot of suspects in this party, and if we start doing things, it'll get noticed real quick. Like that bug.
Yeah, that was a nice bug. I was watching it from sniper view. Poneb was zoomed in on it, and I think is probably crediting YerAnd with it, and is going to shoot on the contact.
The path was really good, though.
Yeah.
Because came immediately back right past the ambassador. No spy would do that ever. Like, that's crazy talk to do that.
Wrapping up flirt before we go for the BB, and we're going to take an innocent drink, so I think YerAnd realizing that he needs to try and lose some of the heat. I would have liked to have seen a green BB at the end of the flirt talk, but yeah, Ponib's on top of that. Shoots on the contact.
It's a really good banana bread, too.
Spread-wise, yeah, spread-wise, it's really good. But with it being a white, and after him taking that bug path, Ponib is just going to be all over that. Let's take a look at the bug again. I want to watch it from the spy side this time, and then we'll take another look at sniper. So it is wrong arm. Very nice bug. So the way that he gets the left arm, the one away from the sniper, is at this point is when he clicks, which technically his left arm is closest. So it starts to use the left arm, and then you curve out so that it continues to use it. And yeah, the redirect afterwards is really good. That's really nice. See if we can spot it again from sniper side.
And he got to use that redirect to get closer to Taft in the conversation.
Yeah, very good use. There's a lot going on there that YerAnd was able to do. The bug was like pretty visible. I think Ponib just wanted to be extra sure and knew that he had a little bit of time. So that's 1-1 on. When I have these wrong. We're going to be 1-1 on ballroom, heading in with Ponoob on boots. Let me see if I can fix this here. There we go. All right, and 3, 2, 1, playing it.
It looks like Noob's waiting for Queen to land somewhere.
Yeah, this time just starting out in a conversation innocently with another AI doing a talk, so we're not seeing that patented flirt into bail, probably because it's not possible. but at least, to the sniper, um, he can't just look only for that every time, because it's not possible every time. So I'm just surprised that these two don't catch on to that. And maybe they do.
Yeah, yeah, we haven't seen the spy win yet, so maybe they do.
Hmm. Goes for an early contact, a really great spread. I think, is that everybody in conversation? Is that a perfect contact on ballroom? That's insane.
Every person, and there's 7 reels.
Yeah, that is one of the best contacts I've ever seen. Not only on ballroom, just in general, getting everybody in conversation on a venue this large, and a lot of the conversations are pretty filled up.
So it looks like you're in highlight for reel there, which, like, it makes a lot of sense
Hmm.
for mission tracking purposes, but for suspicion purposes seems really risky just because the likelihood that that's a fake is actually a lot higher
True.
since everybody's in.
Yeah, but you've got to do something, right? You can't just,
Yeah, you do.
yeah, you can't get any lowlights, which means you've got to take, unless you want to lowlight and make it fake. But I think highlighting is probably the better choice instead of lowlighting, especially because we might see a second contact come off later, and in that case, you don't want to have to adjust lowlights back up.
Yeah, and I think in the second one you can probably low light every highlight if there is a second one.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if pwnoob goes for a second one, even though he doesn't need it, just to switch the suspicion, kind of as we're noting here. I think pwnoob is probably well aware of that possibility. Ends up going for a flirt and the ST or the ST bails. He's going to chase her over to windows, and I don't know. This is something that might catch YerAnd's eye here. This flirt pairing. I hope that he doesn't chase her again. Yeah, he's going to put a little bit of time in between.
Yeah, one of the actual benefits of that highlighting for real is that if you see 2 highlights next to each other more, that they were in conversation together before, probably.
Yeah, most likely, because there was what 2 conversations, right?
Yeah.
And pwnoob got a bug passing by the ambassador to go to blue books, and I'm not sure that it was actually noticed. I didn't see anything from the sniper's view. I don't know if I was exactly looking, but fairly clean bug. We're not seeing a shot, but we may see a shot on 4th mission. We'll see if YerAnd recovers after this bug.
It was in the wide open space, though, that gap that you
Hmm.
can see between the 2 conversations right now.
And 33 seconds left. I have to imagine that this book is going to go into green, and I have heard of pwnoob. He likes to. I know that there's a strat that he'll do where he likes to slam the book when there's like 3 seconds left.
Yeah, after they're like really watching the ambassador for the last second crash bug.
Yeah, he'll go for maximum overtime off of a book dump. And it really looks like that's what he's setting up for, because we would see the book dump now if he wanted to do it early. So we're going to see, yeah, here goes the 3-second book dump. YerAnd is all on top of it. He also knows that it's a patented pwnoob tech there, so he takes the shot. He's waiting for it. YerAnd is
What does
scary.
Well, I mean, that's the risk of playing a 3.5 minute game against your end.
Yeah. He catches a lot. I mean, I was warming up with him prior to this match, and sometimes you feel like you got away with something, and then in the end you realize you didn't because he shoots you anyways. So he's very patient, and his spy is also extremely scary. I'm sitting there watching the party a lot of the times, and I just feel like the spy is doing nothing, and then by the end, all of a sudden he hits 4 missions. So we'll see if he can pull off something like that again here as Bling Twin on our last round of Ballroom in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, and that sniper patience is, I mean, that is the exact reason that he has one of the lowest civilian shot rates ever in SCL. If not the lowest. KCM might be lower, but his is pretty darn low.
Yeah, you're in just all around, just really has a good grasp of the fundamentals of how to play both sniper and spy. And the reason that he's one of the top players, is he in first place in Diamond right now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't think anybody can hit him. He doesn't have a loss. The
Is
only player in Diamond.
is he the top of the elo sheet? No, Lazy Bear's top of the elo sheet.
Yeah.
He's I think top 5 though.
Fourth actually,
Yep.
which seems low to me.
Well, the people ahead of him are also insanely good. What is it? Lazy Bear,
Yeah.
Pofke, and who's third?
Track, still.
Interesting. Well, I bet you that'll change after pwnoob updates it, or maybe it
Oh,
won't change.
they're within 6 points though.
So very, very close. YerAnd ends up going for a relatively early contact again, has a 51% flirt, is going to chase Salmon over to the side painting pad and land another green test. And we're at 2 minutes and 13 seconds with both Seduce and Contact already done, which means YerAnd is going to have plenty of time to set up for his other two missions and can be patient and not have to rush anything through.
Which is something that can be pretty darn powerful against Noob if you can be an AI for a minute and a half before getting your stuff done, but he's not going to do that.
He's
Take
going to
the
go
bug.
for this bug, which is really not a great. It's pretty in the open. However, at that exact time, pwndnoob happened to be rotating, and General in the pillar ends up blocking the bug entirely. So YerAnd either getting a bit lucky or is able to read pwndnoob's kind of laser positioning and rotation. Either way, I think that bug. I think he's getting away with it.
Getting away with it until he completes another mission, then gets shot.
Probably.
If the history of Diamond is any indication.
And I would imagine that we're going to be dumping this book in green. I don't think YerAnd necessarily needs to, as he still has a minute left, so he could try and get double inspects, could maybe start fingerprint, could try and hope for a double reject before Purloin, but he's going to take the safer choice here and dump the blue book into green. We don't see the shot yet, so pwndnoob's not going to have too much more time to recover from this.
Wow.
Civ shot onto Kane.
Yeah, that tells me that there was no bug suspicion.
Yeah, let's take a look at that bug again because it was the timing of it on when pwndnoob is rotating is just crazy. Right here we have Toby, General, and the pillar just completely blocking any parts of the animation. Maybe the very end of it you can see the arm swing, but pretty hard to catch. And I have a feeling at that moment that pwndnoob was really focused on the guest list and just didn't really notice the bug.
Yep, and comes away with 3-1 on Noob's pick.
Yeah. Um, that was weird. Do you have the next game ready, or does it say waiting for game to end?
It's just waiting for game to end.
Okay, like showed the aquarium screen and then it switched to this one, so that was a bit weird. We'll go ahead and throw up the picks and ban screens while we wait.
Oh yeah, I guess I saw it said aquarium for a second, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. So maybe they were just now setting it up. Maybe they took a small break in between and they were selecting it and then they just hit start. I guess that's how that could pop up. So again,
Feels
we're going to be exiting 3-1 out of ballroom with YerAnd in the lead, and it is pwndnoob's doubled venue.
Yeah, it feels really scary to be down 3-1 going into aquarium against YerAnd. That's a tall order.
Yeah, the one downside of being so good at a venue is that one, it means your opponent knows and can study your habits on that venue. It also means that they could ban or restrict it. It's quite odd that pwndnoob let it get through, but maybe he has a plan of his own and is willing to challenge YerAnd on it. And we're gonna have the first one loaded up. SpyParty is acting really weird. I can't grab the timeline and rewind it without hitting my taskbar. So let's see. We're gonna have pwndnoob on Bling Twin in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And we do know that Noob will come into a venue with an absolute plan. When he played his 3 games all in one day, Aquarium was in every set, and he picked Queen every spy game in
Oh
those
wow.
3 sets. So he will go into a venue with a set strategy. Didn't bail after this flirt, though.
Yeah, so it looks like they're willing to do it, but not every time, probably for fear of getting caught on it. And especially with this party, right? There's not much for YerAnd to be looking at. There's people are at bar and their books and their statues, but he's not having to watch for any hardtails. The ambassador's not in danger, and there's like there was no conversation going on at the time. So the flirt bail probably would have really stood out.
Yep, and the ambassador puts himself in a spot that he's going to have to leave before middle shark. So not a lot of bug opportunities are going to be on YerAnd's mind.
I am a little bit worried about a flirt pair right here because, as I said before, the starting conversations
That
barely
bug
had
took.
anyone. How did he bug there?
Well, he stepped really deep into the conversation. You see he's actually off the blue.
Yeah.
And somehow is in front of Duke enough that bug took. That's unreal. There's no way that bug was seen.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Even
sure
though
he's
it's
going to
on
get away with bug there. He's really just got to watch out for flirt pairing at this point. He also needs to actively avoid the ambassador so that he doesn't get credited with the bug after he already has it. He does
Banana
go for a
bread.
white contact.
It's a good contact too.
Hmm.
Queen split on it and then did like a little AI thing, but
And pwndnoob
text
winds
was
up
out.
with a highlight.
Could just be for changing conversations after that.
Yeah, it might be. I'm still really worried about this flirt pairing. He was one of the only people standing next to someone at the start, and he's chased down to Duke twice and only, visited another conversation once to get banana bread.
With a minute and a half and 3 missions done, though, it could just not matter. Like, this is Aquarium. There's the potential for something to just be impossible to shoot for.
Yeah. However, I think the aquarium meta is starting to evolve to where you're shooting for shark setups. People are recognizing, and it is pushing the envelope for what setups are available. I did like that one. I think it was Lazy Bear had on aquarium where it was the purloin at the top to then jump down to mid shark and walk with it. Usually, you see someone start the mission like at the level that the shark is. They don't push the hardtail and then jump down to a different shark level and walk with it. So that's a setup that I don't think someone was prepared for, and we might actually see something like that here. It's
Yeah,
going
I
to be
think
a mid
so.
shark. So
And the timing is like absolutely perfect here.
yeah, and pwndnoob or YerAnd is all on it. He's zoomed in. He can grab the guest list. He doesn't
Oh,
actually go
tailgate.
for the instant.
I think he realized that it was a tiny, tiny bit too late if he
Hmm.
was going to try and hide behind the shark.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Might.
what his plan is going to be. I mean, he's going to delegate, but he's going to have to.
Oh, he's going to set up to hide behind the shark during the actual purloin.
I just don't think it's going to be long enough.
Is Queen getting offered or is Rocker getting offered?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm not sure which.
Queen. So he's going to follow the shark now, I'm assuming.
I think he's going to want to.
Oh.
Yeah, he's going to want to wait, but at that point it's going to be a mid shark, so he's going to have to figure something out here. There goes the overtime. And there's the shot on the pwndnoob.
I'm surprised it took YerAnd that long to shoot there.
Yeah, and I think it's just a part of, he's just playing that very safe sniper. Let's take a look at that bug again. It is standing. The lean is spotted, but it's just not something that you're really looking for. The ambassador not in too much of danger. I think from YerAnd's position, if Duke tries to do a standing bug, you can rely on your peripheral to pick that up just due to the nature of the angle there. But you're just really not ready for someone to be close enough to bug kind of straight across like pwndnoob did. So a great bug, but then unfortunately is not able to get the fourth mission through. Let's see what YerAnd has up his sleeve. If I can rewind it here. Need it to stop autoplaying. YerAnd loading in as Alice in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, so how Aquarium was before, it was kind of like bug is being credited to a lot of people, so it's feeling like you're shooting for 3 missions a lot of the time. Now you truly are shooting for 3 missions because people are getting their fourth one where it's impossible to shoot them.
Right.
It's just so bizarre that this 4 of 8, that the sniper has such a good view of things, has turned into a 3 of 7.
I don't feel like it's a 3-7 when I play. Yes, there's shark stuff, but I think it requires a certain level of skill and finesse to land that you're not seeing it every single round. And by the time that somebody has 3 missions, they're pretty high on your suspect list, unless they're, contact and seduce, but you can kind of track what's going on. And here, we're going to go for a walking bug with Shark on the way out. We end up missing it and then rejoining with our ST. But it doesn't feel too imbalanced as of yet.
So Noob was prepared for that bug and highlight boots for the potential for the bug, but didn't highlight Alice.
Yeah, maybe just the path that Alice took just wasn't tight enough, and YerAnd knows. We do zoom in on the reverse drive-by. However, I think when it actually starts, pwndnoob is starting to zoom out. And YerAnd goes for it and it lands. I'm hoping that pwnoob, and we do miss a pad on the bookcase there. YerAnd quickly redirects. I am worried that pwnoob did not see that reverse drive-by that he zoomed in on.
Yeah, I don't think he did. I was watching from the sniper, and the zoom actually made it really hard to see the bug,
Mm-hmm.
which is a huge risk when you're doing that zoom that late.
So you're going to be kind of mirroring pwnoob's mission progress here. Is going to get the bug through, is going to work on flirt and contact and get those done, and then it's going to have to fight for the fourth mission. We'll see if he ends up going for purloin or maybe something a little bit different.
And that banana bread knocked out multiple highlights and 5 total people.
Still not too bad. A couple of the other conversations are somewhat filled up, and I think YerAnd is just really concerned about getting contact and seduce done so that he can finish inspects.
You got to shoot here, pwnoob.
Yep, and here we see the shark cheese. He goes for the instant swap, leaves pad. I think pwnoob knows right now that it was YerAnd that swapped because he's no longer at the
Yeah, your
at the
last
statue
chance
pad.
was at 8 seconds on the mission countdown.
Yep. Yeah, YerAnd
And I
wanted to
thought for
get all
sure
of that
that he
done
was
fast.
going to shoot there. He went right over.
Yeah, I'm surprised that pwnoob didn't go for a foot shot as soon as YerAnd landed on that statue pad, because especially looking at how quickly YerAnd joined that bottom left conversation, ended up doing a talk and then left. I think he left mid-talk. That should have been pwnoob's flag to really go for the shot. But he's
Yeah,
just not ready for it.
he talked left and then instant pickup at the statue too.
Right. Yeah, Twitch chat saying the same thing. Pickup speed was shootable. I think at that point pwnoob just obviously didn't see the bug. And let's take a look at the bug again from the sniper view here. So it goes to zoom in, and what happens is he zooms out when he should be looking for the hand snapback. That's what he couldn't see. And Alice's, especially from that angle, is particularly hard to see because her hands are both kind of gloved and her suit is a bit darker, so it's sometimes a little bit harder versus some of the other characters that aren't wearing gloves.
Yeah, especially with the floor on Aquarium. It's a really dark floor.
Right. So that ends up working out for YerAnd. We're at a 5-1 scenario with pwnoob also loading in his Alice in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And it looks like noob strategy is pick fast characters.
Yeah, and pwnoob is a player that will pick their cast and will read into their opponent's picks. I don't think that he true randoms every time. Actually, I'm pretty certain that he's pretty deliberate with a lot of these picks.
He'll insist that he does true random, especially after like multiple of the same character in a row, like 4 or 5 in a row. He'll insist he's true randoming. Yeah. You'll see Smallman 3 games in a row, and then he'll be like, "It was Checker's fault."
Hops over to Blue Bucks and picks up the first flirt with the ST there for 51%.
Sorry could sneak a bug behind this shark.
Yeah, she certainly could. That's a good setup too if you can ever get blessed with something like that. I think you would notice Toby though, right? You would, if you moved to bug while you're on that pad and Toby was on the way over, you'd see his arrow kind of stop and then you'd have to go back and he would go back again. So that might be a way that you could notice one of those.
Yeah, but man, how are you going to be watching Toby for a bug?
And
I'll watch. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say for now, pwnoob is just hanging out in conversation, doing a little bit of active idling.
Yeah, I'm assuming that he'll. Wow, no. Noob has not time added yet through 4 spy games.
Yeah, it's a bit surprising. Maybe he's just worried that YerAnd is extremely onto it. And goes for an unexpected swap. It's just one of those things that you mix in where it's just not the right timing to be swapping, so hoping that YerAnd doesn't spot it. It may have also been a missed action test. I know there was a fingerprint. I think it was on the other one, though. So I'm not sure. He didn't even pick up the inspect. I think he was just hoping to have YerAnd be distracted enough with everything else in the party that he could just get away with a swap.
Yeah, and I mean, I will find myself as after 3 minutes realizing that I haven't checked to see if the statues have changed at all, and then noticing that one's different.
You better hope the T-Flame's not watching.
Oh, we're not playing aquarium. Don't worry. Oh, I'm only worried because T-Flame caught some disgustingly good bugs today on redwoods.
Oh wow. Opponent finally heading in with a seduction target after doing some more active idling. I like his progress thus far. It's fast but not too fast, and YerAnd
Getting
doesn't like it. Takes the shot for the flirt completion. There's not even 4 missions showing, so I'm not sure. I guess YerAnd could just be crediting bug, or is just certain. Probably saw the swap and probably just tunneled on pwnoob there after that. So heading into
yeah,
the final round of Aquarium, it could all end here in a 7-1.
yeah. I would think that it's a mix of both. Uh, that he's crediting bug being possible, and also that he was 100% sure
Right.
beforehand.
Let's see if YerAnd can close it out 7-1 here on the last Aquarium round in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
It's 6-1 right now.
It's 6-1 right now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
YerAnd won the spy. Wow, yeah. Apparently, a bug attempt came off during that. I did not see it.
I saw it from spy side, obviously, but I was not on the sniper, so and it doesn't look like there's no highlight onto YerAnd, so I don't think pwnoob noticed it either.
So Ambassador's not going to get forced out.
And I've noticed when I was playing YerAnd today, he picks Disney as his ambassador, which is I don't know. Is there been any discussion, or is that just kind of his thing?
Banana bread.
I haven't seen anyone else do that.
Huh. I don't. I mean, I guess Disney moves his hands a lot, so like you can mix your hands in with them. But that's like my best guess because
Hand mixing meta.
he's not faster than Taft. He's not. Maybe he thinks that Disney's the worst spy, so might as well just put him as a cast.
Could be
But
something like that. I have noticed people get thrown off when it's not Tex or Taft because they're so used to seeing it. So maybe something like that. We go for a blue microfilm. YerAnd has some rounds to waste, ends up getting shot. So pwnoob takes the point and increases his chances for a comeback by not losing. So YerAnd does have one marble, and we're going to be heading into the next venue, which is going to be after Aquarium is Redwoods.
so obviously, like that microfilm is terrible, right? Like there's no chance of it not getting seen, except for the fact that it was the most anti-Urand microfilm ever. Like microfilming in the open at the shelf
Mm-hmm.
on aquarium is not what he does.
Yeah, that was a bit of a weird timing. Kind of maybe same type of strategy that Pony was going for with swap on the last round, where it's just so unexpected and so out of character that they're not even looking for it. But unfortunately for your end, Ponoob does spot it, shoots, gets himself the point, and heading into Redwoods, if you want any chance of a comeback, this is a great venue for it. It's a venue where if you're comfortable enough to pick it, that means that you're probably comfortable enough with your own sniper that you feel you have a decent shot at sniping it. And then on Spy, it obviously is a pretty comfortable venue just due to the nature of the occlusion and stuff like that. So when you're the underdog, it's a pretty good pick in my opinion.
Yeah, and I cannot imagine that Urand is comfortable on redwoods.
Right.
Like it completely plays against his style of sniping to not be able to see what the AIs are actually doing all the time.
Yeah, let's see how it turns out. We're gonna have Ponoob on Tex in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Is he just picking whoever YerAnd was the previous round every time?
There's a chance that that has happened. I don't know if that happened on ballroom though.
Time had to start.
Which can be pretty free on redwood sometimes, and also can be pretty necessary on redwood sometimes.
We do see a low light onto Irish. She's starting at bar, I think, with a bunch of like SDAs or something. So possibly for that as, or it was a time ad catch. But if it was a time ad catch, it still doesn't matter that much because 1 or 2 low lights is
Banana bread.
pretty good. We are gonna go for the banana bread. We see the low lights taken by YerAnd. He also seems to be panning around to watch. I don't like the banana bread because the ambassador wasn't in danger, and it's pretty obvious which the real conversation was, so it should actually be fairly narrowed down from this point. With the ambassador in danger and you go for the contact, your end at least has to either watch the amba and misses who's talking and whatever else information is there to gather, or has to credit the people around the ambassador post banana bread with bug.
Yeah, and I think that Noob is counting on the fact that YerAnd might think that Smallman is the SDA just by virtue of who would choose Smallman as their double agent on
Yes.
Redwoods.
Yep.
Um, but with how full this conversation was and with how empty the other one was, the spy would have to know that Smallman was the DA to do that contact.
No, that's good insight though of thinking who would pick Smallman as their double agent on Redwoods, because I've been, practicing with a buddy a lot recently, and I've started to think about that of would he actually do that. Meanwhile, Ponoob goes for a walking bug, exiting away from the bar as the ambassador is walking towards it, and it ends up landing. We don't see a shot from your end, and I think it looked pretty good from the sniper side.
I hope it was behind trees because that arm was out there.
Was it?
Well, I don't know what it looked like from the sniper side, but from the spy side, like the arm was pointing at the sniper.
Yeah, we'll have to take another look. I was looking at the timeline a little bit, but nothing stood out to me. I think maybe just with the angle and the trees, it ends up being covered. And again, still no highlight. The party is narrowed down to about 7 people. Salmon is one of the highlights, the only highlight, and is currently inspecting.
Yeah, he's inspecting the same set he's earned the highlight for, so I would assume that YerAnd knows that he's already been to that set of statues.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that we are not a high-level suspect. YerAnd just left the ambassador open to Tex being able to bug right there by putting it all behind trees so that he could kind of secretly watch Salmon, maybe for a swap or, an animation mess up with the statues. So YerAnd leaving Ponoob open to a bug makes me really think he's not a suspect.
I love that path by Ponu, by the way. He's walking directly at the wall when he comes out of that conversation, because that's the path that AI would start with, whereas a spy would start by walking parallel to the wall. That's something that YerAnd will see, but I don't know if it's something YerAnd will see on Redwoods.
Yeah, hard to see a lot of stuff on Redwoods. I'm curious to see what Ponoob's 4th mission is going to be. It looks like it's going to be fingerprint, so he's going to grab a briefcase, and I think... Is there a difficult print at bar, or did the ambassador reject that drink? He doesn't have a drink, so I'm assuming he rejected it.
I don't know, but I do know that now there's a print on the statue and that bookshelf. Looks like he's going to go right for the statue.
Very aggressive, fingerprint back to back. I think Ponoob has a little bit of time to maybe cook it. And yeah, YerAnd doesn't like it. Takes the shot. Yeah, I think he maybe could have cooked it for a little bit longer. It might not have mattered because it's YerAnd anyways, but going briefcase into fingerprintable statue is pretty big risk. Let's take a look at the bug and see if maybe YerAnd did see that.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, okay. It was way on screen. I must have just not personally seen it, but it's a helicopter bug way on screen. And I wonder if there's anything else. I think YerAnd had to have seen that because there's nothing else that he's watching at that time. On screen is a low light talking, like no other information. That angle is like completely set up to watch for the bug. I'm surprised that YerAnd didn't shoot Ponoob for it because he had to have seen it.
And then there's also the possibility that it could just be something that he did on the briefcase.
Yeah, Twitch chat noting that it might have been a late stop on the briefcase, that he got a little bit too close and didn't stop to set it down. It does look like it's a little bit close. I'd maybe stop like there, and he just goes a few steps forward. But my briefcase etiquette isn't 100%, so unsure. But YerAnd maintains his dominance over Diamond with a 7-2 win over Ponoob. That's going to be the set. Congratulations to YerAnd.
That is the first time that YerAnd has ever beat Ponoob.
Is that really?
Yeah.
That is crazy, because that looked like such a dominating performance.
Yeah, YerAnd has gotten absurdly good over the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, showing why he's just dominating Diamond this season and is very high on the ELO sheet. Did he enter the Summer Cup? Do you know?
I don't know.
Well, nonetheless, it'll be interesting to see if he does enter, to see if he can kind of just dominate everybody as he's been doing here in Diamond. So thank you for joining me, and that's going to be the set. GG's.
Yep, thanks for having me. GG's.